Hello and welcome. This is another little video I'm going to put out. I don't usually do this many, but I just feel like it, so I thought I would. Right, so I'm going to be doing a painting video. It's about my ogres. Now, as many people who know me in real life know, I've got several armies in different stages of painting, by which, of course, I mean mostly unpainted or undercoated with 1 or 2 units or heroes done. But I have done some painting for my Gutbusters army in the past. I find them quite enjoyable to paint. There's quite a nice large surface area on them, so it actually works very well. You can really get a lot of character in them, which is quite cool. And the last time I painted them, I ended up, I think, giving myself sciatic pain because I sat too long doing them. But hopefully, won't be doing that today. I've got out of work early. I'm on my own in the house, apart from my lovely cat, who may or may not make an appearance. But yeah, I thought I'd just do a little bit of quick painting. My main problem at the moment with my ogres, of course, is that they're not really playable on the tabletop. They're not even in a casual competitive sense. Like you can't really taint them. The output of damage they do just isn't very good. They're an old army who haven't even had an update in the General's Handbook. Like even Dwarfs Dispossessed got an update in General's Handbook, but they haven't. So last time I fielded them, they did very, very poorly. They were still quite fun to play, but they just couldn't do what I wanted them to do. So I might just leave them as painting projects for now. The reason I'm bringing them to light again, though, is very recently on the Warhammer community page, they've been doing a article called Tale of Four Wordlords, which is like their usual Tale of Four Warlords thing that they run, where 4 people start up armies and start playing them and building them and buying them and everything, but with writers and such. And Gav Thorpes Fyreslayer has caught my eye because they have a really cool effect to them, which I kind of want to try and replicate, in that he's undercoated with a base of Mephiston red, and then he's done dry brush of black over the top to make it look like the skin is like lavary, fiery underneath, which I thought was a very cool look. I have already painted some of my other ogres before, but I might repaint them if this little testing session works quite well, if I can replicate it well enough. I don't have many. I've got a few put together, but none that would actually work for it. But I did find my old Firebelly, even, which sadly is in dirty fine cast, but you make do with what you can, I suppose. He's a nice model though. You see lots of flesh area that I can test this on, which is quite good. So the idea is to base in Mephiston red, or Mephiston red, or however you want to pronounce it, and then dry brush on some Abaddon black. And then Gav Thorpe used Dawnstone, which I don't actually have any elf. I've never used any of it, but I do have some Administratum Grey, which will probably work quite as well, I should think. Obviously, I have my Army medium to thin everything out, and then if I'm wanting to maybe shade it over with some Nuln oil if it comes to it, but we'll see what it looks like first. I'm quite excited to try it. I've not painted in a very long time, to be honest with you, so I was never that massively brilliant at it anyway. But it should be quite fun to go. Let's give it a go and see what pops up for it. Thank you. Right, so I've done the coating of the red, the undercoating. Doing this, I realised there's still quite a bit of bloody flash left on it, but that's bloody fine cast. I can't seem to get rid of it all. It never seems to go away. But anyway, yeah, so I've done, as you can see, see it very well. Give a good coating over in red. It's very, very different. I wouldn't usually undercoat in red. I wouldn't have thought of undercoating red, like black or white, maybe grey recently, or maybe green. But I think it kind of looks quite cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bloody sword off his back, though, I must admit, because it seems to be getting in the way. But yeah, so I've left his little kind of leather loin cloth, and I've done his legs and his everything else. So I'm going to try and do the dry brushing. I've never been massively great at dry brushing, but I'm going to give it a go. I think the idea is that the red shows through the black a bit, so it shows it's underneath him, because my ogres are, the way I wrote the lore from him was that they live on the volcano where my dwarves are. Essentially, they came to a kind of uneasy truce. Kind of segues quite well into if I am going to do Chaos Dwarves, they could be, I don't know, the slaves of the Chaos Dwarves or something similar. But yeah, so the ones before I did with a bit of flesh wash and darken the skin down a bit. Now this might actually make them look quite good. Like, they live around the volcano. They're from the realm of Aqshy, the realm of fire. They live around the volcano, and the red's kind of underneath them, and it's like that's their skin color, and it's been blackened by the proximity, maybe to the volcano or something similar. But if this works out well, I might do it on the others. Obviously, the other ogres have a lot. They have a bare upper torso, but in most cases have like trousers or something on, and it would mean repainting all the flesh on my old ones. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a bit of an update there. What I'm listening to at the minute is once again Stormcast, the Age of Sigmar podcast. It's again still massively behind. It's only episode 11. They're talking about the the upcoming re-release of the Death Book, the Allegiance of Nagash book. So it's quite interesting to hear them what they're saying about, even though it is massively outdated. Anyway, onwards. Hello again. Right, so I've done the dry brushing now. I'm not sure. I kind of like it. I don't know if I'm going too heavy on the grey. I'll obviously bring it up so you can have a look. So obviously the red's underneath, which is what the main goal was, and then you can see the kind of blackened skin, like it's been blackened by exposure. You can kind of see the bit without the grey there. Maybe I've gone a bit too heavy on the grey. I'm not. It was only supposed to be a light dry brushing over the top of that, but I'm not massively. I don't know. Trying to get it into the light a bit for you so you can have it. I think that's probably the best area where you can see it, but I'm wondering if that's too much or if that's not. I don't know. I'm kind of liking it. It's like, the dust and the ash from the volcanoes like just coating their skin, so underneath there's kind of red skin. Obviously, everything else is still to be done on him, and in the article, Gav Thorpe actually offset it reasonably well with some yellows and reds. I think the idea was to get them quickly done to a tabletop standard, so they weren't massively well painted as such, but it was well for a tabletop standard. So I'm thinking, obviously, the masks make it a kind of golden. The flames, either do like I don't know if the blue flames might be quite nice. I'm not sure. Hammer's like stone, and then you got all this stuff on the loincloth and all the armor and leather and all that kind of stuff to do. I don't know. I'm torn, as I usually am when I'm painting things, as to whether it's good or not. But I can get used to it, I think. Would I repaint the rest of my ogres to match the style? Possibly, yeah. Especially to keep them in with a nice theme for their army, of course. Keep them all together. But to be honest, I mean, obviously, I'm probably not going to be playing my ogres anytime soon anyway. They are, without a General's Handbook update or without a proper rules revision, they're basically unplayable, as I mentioned earlier on. Rumours are always flying around about what's happening. Obviously, there's supposed to be some new battle tomes coming out this year, so that could mean a new ogre one. There is supposed to be one for each Grand Alliance. Obviously, they've just had Gloomspite Gits, so it might not be them that get destruction, but the rumour is that the ogre factions will be being combined, because obviously when Age of Sigmar came out, they split the ogre factions into Gutbusters, Firebellies, Man-Eaters, etc. I don't know. It'd be nice if they did bring them all back together. There's no point. They've been within the Gash one and the Skaven one. They basically put everything back together again. Beasts of Chaos did the same thing. They put all the factions back together again, and it would be nice to see. But it'd have to really work hard to make it viable. But yeah, I think it might be a nice little painting project. Let me know what you think in the comments if you want to. I think I've done not too bad a job on that one. I'm probably not going to give it a wash with the null or darken it down. I think once you put the other things on, like the browns and the golds, it'll not too bad. Yeah. Thanks very much for watching.